Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast coming to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. I'm Kasini Balachandra-Adhikari.
Alongside Sonal Parnavithana, let's take a look at the top stories for tonight.
New laws to get rid of organized crimes and the drug menace. Increased Asfasuma benefits from April. Fertilizer subsidy for 2 hectares, 25,000 rupees each for paddy cultivation per hectare in the yellow season. Hospital services as normal despite disruptions from the strike. Health Minister stresses that the strike is unfair since solutions have been provided. Chairman of Samagi Janabala Vegya resigns. A colossal strike on Gaza Strip by Israel. 400 lives lost.
And we move on to those and other stories in detail in your top local story tonight. President Anurukumar Dissanayake stated that steps will be taken to provide the necessary facilities to eliminate organized crime and drug abuse, as well as to introduce new legislation.
The President made these remarks during a discussion held today at the Presidential Secretariat with the police chiefs of the Western Province. He emphasized that maintaining the rule of law is a key responsibility of the police department. President Anurukumar Dissanayake further stated that a just society cannot be established in Sri Lanka without ensuring the supremacy of the rule of law. Minister Ananda Vijaypala, Deputy Minister Attorney at Law Sunil Watagala, Secretary to the Minister of Public Security Ravi Seniviratna, Acting Inspector General of Police Priyantha Veerasurya and several Western Province police chiefs were also present at this event. President Anurukumar Dissanayake instructed police chiefs of the Southern Province to carry out their duties without any influence. The President further stated that his government would facilitate this process by ensuring political authority provides the necessary assistance. He made these remarks during a discussion held today at the Presidential Secretariat with police chiefs of the Southern Province. The President emphasized that everyone must abide by the country's fundamental laws and stated that enforcing these laws is the responsibility of the police department. During the discussion, police chiefs of the Southern Province briefed the President on reports related to organized crimes and drug-related offences. In response, the President Dissanayake instructed officials to take all necessary measures swiftly to combat crimes.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalendra Jayatissa says that 6 police teams have been engaged in order to take into custody the former IGP Deshabandhu Thennakoon. He elaborated in the Cabinet media meeting held today that the aim of the government is to implement law equally to every citizen in the country. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalendra Jayatissa said that 6 teams of the Criminal Investigation Department are in search of former IGP Deshabandhu Thennakoon. As per the decision of the government is trying to take the person into custody. Since the law applies equally to every citizen, legal action can also be taken against those who provide protection for him. In reply to a question by a journalist, the minister said that due to the absence of his wife, a former IGP, the activities of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation will not be affected since a female official will be appointed for this purpose and the supply of pharmaceuticals shall not be hampered due to her. The minister also answered questions raised by media persons regarding the Batalanda Commission report. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalendra Jayatissa said that Ranil Wickremesinghe had stated that the report was not presented in Parliament and there is no validity in it. Entered in the Parliament in all 3 languages. A committee will be appointed in order to provide recommendations after studying the content included in it, and this committee will be appointed within a very few days. The same will be forwarded to the Attorney General, and with the recommendations of the committee in the field of justice and law appointed by the President and the Attorney General, it will be forwarded as a judicial matter to the courts for further action. The public will be able to get further information on the 10th of April. A debate will be held in the month of May on the 2nd day of it. The minister said that Udaya government pillars should not panic since they also had their government previously, where much was spoken of Batalanda in 1994. Although the same has been taken into consideration during 2000, nothing has been done. Action will be taken based on the Batalanda Commission report. Those who are in the UNP and some indirect persons have expressed their views to protect Ranil Wickremesinghe Wickramasinghe as well as the rest. No action could have been expected from Chandrika Bandanaikumatunga against Ranil Wickramasinghe. There are 19,000 files in the Criminal Investigation Department and more files are present in the Attorney General's Department which have to be equally considered. He added that while punishment will be carried out to the assassins of the government, will prove laws where no one will miss democracy, the safety and security of the future of the society. All these have to be conducted gradually and systematically, taking proper time, as a country cannot progress according to the issues which surface from time to time.
The hospital sources say that although there is a strike in the health service, the hospital services were carried out as usual today. However, it is reported that in some hospitals, the services were disrupted to some extent. Auxiliary medical officers have started the strike. Co-Health Professional Board says that the strike is organized by the trade unions that are connected to the opposition. President of the forum, Chalita Amaradivakara, says that public servants have received a huge increase of salaries through this budget. Basic salary of the co-health professionals has increased by 22,000 rupees, nearly 70%. The salary increment has been increased by 80%. Increase in the allowances is about 35%. Their salary has increased in significant amounts. Therefore, the strike is unfair. Several trade unions that have close connections with the opposition parties have organized the strike. All Island Nurses Union did not support this strike. General Secretary of the union, HMSP Madhivatta, said the general public of this country are continuously suffering due to such strikes. During the past regime, patients had to suffer due to the shortage of medicine and frauds committed in purchasing medicine. However, these trade union leaders did not speak even a word against them. These trade union leaders enjoyed benefits given by the previous government. At present, the situation has changed and the government is providing relief to the general public. These trade unions are attempting to disrupt the government's program. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa expressed his views in Parliament regarding the strike. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that an official who has a 32,000 rupee basic salary has been added extra 22,000 rupees. A basic salary of 37,190 rupees is added with 26,120 rupees. A basic salary holder of 44,520 rupees will get 32,010 rupees salary increase. A basic salary of 58,590 rupees will be increased by 43,320 rupees. These increases have been given only up to the capacity of the national economy at present. The Sri Lankan health officials cannot expect salaries compared to the health services in Australia or England. Taking innocent patients as hostages cannot be accepted. The President is always ready to talk about the genuine problems prevailing in the health profession. Patients in the National Hospital said that there was no disruption in the treatment services due to the strike. They also said that the strike is very unfair. Patients who came to the Anuradhapura General Hospital faced difficulties today. They said that the treatment services were carried out in a very lethargic manner. A meeting of the trade union representatives attached to the All Island Trade Union Federation was held in Colombo today. All Ceylon Trade Union Federation representatives said that they are thankful to the government for increasing their salaries in significant amounts through this budget. Another representative said that there is a condition of staging trade union actions in government hospitals at present. These trade unions of the MLTs, pharmacists, radiographers, physiotherapists did not support the trade union action.
වේදී ඒ වගේම බෞද්ධ චිකිත්සක සහ වෘත්තීය චිකිත්සක අද මේ මොහොත වෙන විට රටේ සේවයෙන් ඉල්ලා ඉන්න සහෝදරවන්ට මම පළමු කොටම ආචාර කරනවා.
පරිපූර්ණක සහ අතුරු වෛද්‍ය
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that a discussion was held with supplementary and interim medical service professionals yesterday. They had said that they would start the strike following the talks with the Treasury. However, they did not have talks with the other trade unions. If they had requested these demands from the Ranil's government, he would said salaries cannot be increased with the conditions of the IMF. The present government having discussions with the IMF and managed to provide this salary increase at a cost of 110 billion rupees. People should understand the political aim lying under this strike.
Imtiaz Bakir Marka has resigned from the chairmanship of the Samaga Jana Balawegya. The party internal sources states, however, the party has not yet accepted his resignation. Imtiaz Bakir Marka was appointed as the chairman of the Samagijana Balavega, although he represented the national list of the SJB during the last general election. He was not able to enter the parliament. It is reported that his resignation had been directed to the party leader Sajid Premadasa and General Secretary Ranjit Manduma Bandara.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that the recruitment of graduates for the vacancies in the public service will be carried out under a proper system. The Premier made these remarks in response to a query raised in the Parliament today. Meanwhile, the expenditure heads of the Ministers of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development, Youth Affairs and Sports were taken up for committing stage debate this evening. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa requested to declare and define the time frame and roadmap on providing employment opportunities. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that the government provide employments under certain system that is approved by the Public Service Commission, and the recruitment in the teaching profession has been delayed due to a case filed at the Supreme Court. Thereby, the educational sector is facing many difficulties. Under the verdict of the Supreme Court, the government will be able to fill these vacancies. The government only make recruitments through the policies declared by the election manifesto.
Minister Sunil Handuneti says that measures will be taken to develop industries and create new entrepreneurs under a proper plan. He made these remarks joining the Budget Committee stage debate on the expenditure heads of several ministries, including industries and sports. Minister Sunil Handuneti said that the country had faced a minus economy and could not pay its debts. Therefore, the present government has taken measures to revitalize the productive economy through the revival of the industrial sector. The government has also taken measures to strengthen the market economy through enhancing exports. The government has focused attention to find solutions for the dollar crisis as well. However, the ministers of the previous government spent a huge sum of money to get chairmanships of some sports associations. No parliamentarian of this government represents sports associations. During the past period, 2 ministers competed to become a chairman of a certain sports association, and some even changed their political parties to meet their end.
Sports-related issues in the country were debated in the Parliament today. Minister Sunil Kumar Gamage and MP Namal Rajapaksa shared their views on these matters. When considering cricket and football, MP Namal Rajapaksa pointed out that they need associations to join together. He mentioned that they have no sufficient capacity to run an academy on their own and suggested that the ministry could intervene in this matter. Addressing the Parliament, Minister Sunil Kumar Gamage revealed that the Sports Ministry was paying a fine of £5,000 per year due to the involvement of Fijian players during a rugby match in 2014. He explained that in May 2014, during the time the rugby was played in the Babies, 3 Fijian players were brought to Sri Lanka to participate in a tournament in Colombo with the aim of winning a match. He added that when World Rugby became aware of this years later, they imposed a fine of £50,000 in Sri Lanka, which the country was still paying.
Chairman of the Milk Company, Hemajiva Godhabia, says that all arrears for the dairy farmers have been paid. He stresses that under the new administration, measures will be taken to promote the Milk Company as the major milk production institute that addresses the need of milk in the country. Chairman of the Milk Company, Hemajiva Godhabia, said that this company was to be handed over to a foreign company since it was debt-stricken. Employees of the company were disappointed and production and distribution of dairy items were disrupted island-wide. Such a company has been able to become a profitable entity within a very short span of time. 50% of the entire debt has already been paid. Over 500 million rupees of arrears have been paid to dairy farmers. The company owed 790 million rupees to its suppliers. The State Bank overdraft was exceeding 1,800 million rupees. 50% of this amount has also been paid at present. Arrears of dairy farmers and other suppliers have been completed. The company has been successful in financial aspects, and now the distribution process has been streamlined and milk items are continuously being distributed amongst all major supermarkets at present.
A new integrated assistance centre has been set up at the Makumura Multimodal Transport Centre aimed at improving accessibility for passengers with disabilities. A key feature is the help desk staffed with personally trained to assist individuals with special needs. The new center offers services such as emergency helpline, communication support for hearing impaired passengers, and real-time travel information. Ensuring the security for women in the public transport is also an objective of this project.
More local stories right after this break. And in tonight's More Local Stories, check in the nomination lists of the Podujana Eksath Peramana was held at the SLFP headquarters today. Our correspondent said that Mahinda Amaraveera and Peshla Jayaratne were also present at this occasion. Meanwhile, placing deposits for the SJP candidates contest in the local government election from Polonnaru district was conducted at the Polonnaru election office this morning under the patronage of parliamentarians King Nelson.
An amount of 5 billion rupees have been allocated by the budget of 2025 for Clean Sri Lanka program, which is being implemented as a main program of the government. A discussion in order to achieve the main aims of the grants program fruitfully was held today. Attention was paid to the challenges and financial requirements regarding proposed programs to be implemented by various institutions in the discussion held under the Additional Secretary of the Clean Sri Lanka program, SPC Sukishwara. Clean Sri Lanka program has been implemented island-wide with the expectation of bringing in a new change in all areas, including ethics of the country, social and environmental aspects. Accordingly, the possibility to identify the allocation of financial grants on a priority basis on the concerned ministries and departments has also been widely reviewed.
Agriculture and Agrarian Insurance Board says that 952 million rupees have already been paid for the damages of crops occurred in November last year. The chairman of the board, Premasthiri Jasingha Arachi, revealed these facts joining a media briefing held at the Ministry of Agriculture today. Chairman of the Agriculture and Agrarian Insurance Board, Premasthiri Jasingha Arachi, said that after assessing the crop damages, they have been able to pay insurance compensations for damaged crops since last month. Accordingly, by last week, 952 million rupees have been paid as compensation to 53,511 farmers for damages of 61,071 acres of crop. This is the first time in history a government paid compensation for crop damages within a very short span of time.
The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by President Anurakumara Dissanayake in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to amend Aswesuma Welfare Benefit Payment Scheme and to publish by a Gazette notification. It is expected to extend the period of entitlement of benefits for the transitional social category included in Schedule 1 of the Aswesuma Welfare Benefit Payment Scheme up to the 30th of April 2025. Steps have been taken to increase the monthly assistance payment from 7,500 rupees to 10,000 rupees and 3,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees provided to persons with disabilities receiving treatment for kidney diseases and elderly persons respectively that are included in the Schedule 2 of the said scheme and to implement the said decision from April 2025. A decision has also been taken to extend the period of payment provided for the disabled persons, kidney patients and elderly persons given in the Schedule 2 up to the 31st of December 2025 subject to the above proposals. Even though the payment of allowances under the transitional social category will be stopped after April 2025, the period of payment for disabled persons, kidney patients and elderly persons of these families will be extended up to the 31st of December 2025. Payment of the relevant eligible persons by inclusion of newly forwarded applications of disabled and kidney patients subject to the maximum limit up to the 31st December this year. The Cabinet has decided to grant the approval to provide a financial subsidy for the farmers who are cultivating the paddy in the paddy land for the yellow season 2025 and for the farmers who are cultivating other crops in the paddy land, taking into consideration the proposal presented by the Minister K.D. Lal Kantha. It is expected to provide 25,000 rupees per hectare for paddy cultivation on paddy lands in the 2025 yellow season for a maximum of 2 hectares. A decision has been taken to provide 15,000 rupees per hectare for the cultivation of other field crops cultivated on paddy lands as decided in season meetings for a maximum of 2 hectares. It was decided to appoint an officers' committee under the chairmanship of the Secretary to the Prime Minister for submission of a report after reviewing non-commercial institutions owned by the government. The appointed committee has already reviewed 160 institutions and it has been decided to obtain the assistance of a subcommittee comprising the members in the field for reviewing 36 higher education centres, including the universities. The following recommendations have been submitted by classifying 124 institutions under 9 categories except this institution. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya to implement the aforesaid recommendations. Approval of the Cabinet of Ministers has been granted at the meeting held on the 19th of February 2025 to amend the Personal Data Protection Act No. 9 of 2022. Clearance of the Attorney General has been given to the revised draft bill prepared by the legal draftsman in this regard. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the proposal submitted by the President Anurukumara Dissanayake in this office as the Minister of Digital Economy to publish the draft of the Personal Data Protection Amended Act in the Government Gazette notification and thereafter submit it to the Parliament for its concurrence.
Minister Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa says that when the government is taking steps to modernize postal service and trying to make it a profit-making institution, postal strike of this nature at this juncture due to political reasons is not justifiable. Views have also been expressed in the media meeting to inform cabinet decisions held today. Minister Dr. Nalindra Jayatissa said that the postal strike can affect the local government elections to be held shortly. The government requested to call off the strike, but several trade unions did not agree with it. Many trade unions agreed to request and accordingly most of the post officers and sub-post officers carried out their normal functions, although there has been some impact on the postal distribution. The minister pointed out that this problem has arisen 7 to 8 years before and not a creation of the present government, and a reasonable time frame is required to solve it.
An iftar celebration took place yesterday at the Sri Lanka High Commission in Kuala Lumpur. The event brought together Sri Lankans who are residing in Malaysia. The event was organized by the Acting High Commissioner Mohammad Rizvi and the staff of the High Commission. The event saw participation from Sri Lankan Muslims and the business community, including the President of the Sri Lankan Muslim Scholars and Business Association, Dr. Ramsey. The celebration was made even more significant by the presence of individuals from different religious communities, emphasizing interfaith unity. This gathering showcased the spirit of religious harmony and coexistence among Sri Lankans residing in Malaysia.
Foreign news on the other side of this break.
Terima Kutumi Pantamai.
And in your foreign news tonight, the Israeli military says that it is carrying out extensive strikes in the Gaza Strip, with the Hamas-run health ministry reporting that more than 400 Palestinians been killed.
Today's attack took place across Gaza, including Khan Yunis and Rafah in southern Gaza, Gaza City in the north and central areas like Deir el-Bala. This is the largest wave of airstrikes in Gaza since the ceasefire began on 19 January. The officials stated that talks to extend the ceasefire agreement have failed to reach an agreement. Mahmoud Abu Wasa, Deputy Interior Minister in Gaza and the territory's highest-ranking Hamas security officials are among the dead. 3 other senior officials were later reported dead. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated that he ordered the military to take strong actions against Hamas over its refusal to release captives taken from Israel or agree to offer to extend the ceasefire.
A litter of fluffy Tibetan fox cubs has been spotted in the northwest China's Qinghai province, captivating the viewers, their endearing antics caught on camera. The footage shows the cubs exhibiting a range of playful and curious behaviors, stepping on their bushy tails to stay warm, clumsily scratching their ears with hind legs, dozing peacefully on grassy patches, grooming their fur with tiny tongues and peering alertly at their surroundings. Their charming antics offer a rare glimpse into the early life of this elusive species. The Tibetan fox, one on the second level protected wild animals in China, inhabits the region's alpine meadows and plays an important role in controlling grassland rodent pests and maintaining the balance of the plateau ecosystem. In recent years, intensified efforts to protect and restore local ecosystems in the Chindu County have yielded significant results. Authorities report steady growth in both the diversity and population of wild animals, including the Tibetan fox.
And in your sports news tonight, Indian Royals team qualified for the finals of the Asian Legends League T20 cricket tournament.
They managed to beat Sri Lanka Lions team in the second semi-finals match held in Udaipur in India. Batting first, Indian Royals scored 148 runs for 7 wickets in their 20 overs. Faiz Faisal scored 41 runs. Vikum Sanju claimed 3 wickets. In reply, Sri Lanka Lions could only score 136 runs in their 20 overs. TM Dilshan scored 69 runs. The Indian Royals won the match by 12 runs.
And with that, we wind up tonight's English news on Rupavahini. Do watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.